Hey everyone! Welcome back to ElChizzoReviews. Today we have something from Kamen Rider Wizard's WAP 10 figure line, Kamen Rider Beast Hyperform. For those who didn't watch my last video, I found this guy at a con and snatched him right up. Now I have him here in front of you to review. Now, WAP from WAP stands for Wizard Action Please. I'm not sure why the 10 is there in WAP 10. This is part of the budget line of figures. Parents don't want to spend ludicrous amounts of money on a big, fancy, artistic figure just so that their kids can get bored of it or break it. So Bandai made cheaper, simpler figures that were more easily accessible to the younger audience. I'm going to skip the box look over because I did that in my last video, link down below. Although I do want to show off this little cardboard insert that sat behind Beast while it was in the box. Now let's see if I can try to, well, that's about the right color. Here you can see Kamen Rider Beast's magic circle. And it's really awesome, kind of a runic alphabet thing going on here. I'm not entirely sure what it spells. I could probably look it up. But it's, I do love the design. So you got Beast's logo right there, and then the 4 mantles that he can wear. Down here, I assume it says Kamen Rider Beast. Yeah, that's Kamen Rider. I don't know what this is, though. So, that's just, I wanted to show that off. Moving on to the figure. Beast himself is cast in blue plastic, although it's not metallic like it was in the show. And I want to get this out of the way, just so I'm not complaining about it for the whole video. He has a lot of exposed screw holes down his back. They're gonna bug some people, they kind of bother me, but as long as I'm not looking directly at them, I can live with it. Now, moving on to paint, his helmet has some lovely metallic red on the eyes and gold for the faceplate. Unfortunately, the grooves that make up the lion's mane on top aren't filled in with gold like on the show, but dedicated fans will probably just whip out the gold paint and fill that in. Moving down to his clearly not a Drago Ranger shield, this is painted in more of a gold, more of the gold that I really like from Bandai. Okay, secret wish, I kind of wish Bandai would release their paint as kind of like in model kit jars, because I would do up so many Gunpla in those metallic colors. But as I was saying, it's a lot of the gold that I really like, more of that lovely red in the lion face. His beast driver is painted in and molded really well. His ring holder is gold, and yeah, it's all the rings are in gold. So once again, if you want to get screen accurate, grab your paint, just dot those in. I'm sure it won't take you that much time. And he has these gold stripes down the front of his legs. The shin guards have some lovely detail, especially around the ankles. And he's rocking some static tassels on his forearm guards. I guess, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a reference to ancient Sumerian culture or whatever, because that's what the, they mentioned that that's where his power comes from in the show. I'm gonna have to, I don't know too much about ancient Sumerian culture, but I bet you if I look it up, I probably won't find this. Of course, now that I said that, they probably do have some traditional armor like this, and you're all going to correct me in the comments. Okay, the camera fell down. Sorry. I'm going to just move on to articulation, because we've pretty much covered all the paint. His hands are articulated in sort of an odd way, and the reason I point this out now is because I'm going to be coming back to it later, and I just want to just point this out right now. The way how his fingers are articulated in sections. You've got his middle and index finger articulated on one joint. If I can show that off. And his ring and index fingers articulated on a separate one. We'll come back to why it's articulated that way in a moment, when we get back to the accessories. He has a ball joint in his neck, so he gets a good range of motion. I mean, he can look left, he can look right, he can look up, down. Gets a little bit of, just a little bit of waggle from side to side. You know, you're just like, what you mean don't put mayonnaise on it? Anywho, he has universal shoulders. Unfortunately, because of the way this is molded, his shoulder pads kind of prevent there from being any kind of full range of movement. He can move back just fine. He can move forward about that much. And that's kind of a downside to the articulation. But, you know, at least I thought to put universal joints in there. He has a bicep swivel and a wrist swivel on both sides, which is good for weapon poses. He has a waist swivel just above the belt. By the way, his driver is one solid piece. You can't close it, so you're stuck this way. His legs are on universal joints as well. And you get about that much forward, that much back, goes out about that much to about a 90-degree end. It's a little obstructed, or at least stiffened on this side because of the ring holder. And the ring holder doesn't really articulate, it just kind of bends. So you can still kind of get the full articulation, but it's tricky. You still get full backwards and forwards movement. That's about it. He's got a thigh swivel. Well, it's more of a knee swivel, but it kind of breaks up that line, but, you know, there's nothing much you can do about that. He gets a knee bend that's just over 90 degrees, and his elbows get just under 90 degrees. And he has ball-jointed feet, which, again, good if you want to get some dynamic poses out of him. Moving on to accessories, he comes with his mirror magnum and his dice saber. Very little paint on the magnum, just that splotch of gold over the line, and none on the dice saber. But all the detail that you need is molded in there. Let me see if I can just bring this up without disturbing it to show you guys. Careful, careful. And you'll understand why I'm doing this so carefully later. But yeah, all the detail is there. Setting it down gently. Whew. It's like diffusing a bomb. But yeah, all the details there except for the trigger hole on the Magnum. And remember when I mentioned those weird articulations in the fingers? Well, this is how he holds his weapons. There are no tabs in the handles of the weapons, and there's no slots or any kind of special mechanism in his hand to help him hold the weapons more securely. You literally just bend his fingers around it. And this is not a very secure grip, and I can't get him to hold on while I fix his pose. And that's kind of an irksome thing for me, but if I can get him into the pose and then get the weapons in, again, very carefully, then it usually works out. The Magnum is actually the biggest problem here. It's heavier than the saber, and sometimes... Oh, now that you're on cam, you won't do it. And sometimes it'll just fall right out. However, other than that, it's a great toy for a reasonable price. I love this thing. You can grab one of these and not feel nervous about taking it out of the box and displaying it openly. I would highly recommend this to any Kamen Rider fans who wanted a figure, but just didn't want to pull the trigger on a figure art. You know, no pun intended. I hope my review was helpful to you, and I think this is a good place to end the video. If you liked this video and you want to see more, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. And follow me on social media. Links will be in the description. If you have any ideas on what you want to see me review next, leave a comment and I will try to review it if it is at all possible. Thank you so much for watching. This is ElChizzo of ElChizzoReviews, and I'm signing off.